Good evening. This is the Capricorn September astrology report concerning love, life, career, family, the whole nine. This is done from the divine feminine aspect and from the divine masculine aspect and from the aspect of sacred balance in between. It's the good, the bad, and how to fix it, or in other words, how to balance it. So the top row right here is your divine feminine. So just jumping right into it, with the divine feminine, you're dealing with the intuition and creativity, the higher aspects of the mind that kind of step away from the logic and order and backwardness that we've been subjected to. So jumping right in. The good part about what you're going to be facing under September as a Capricorn is the web weaver. The web weaver is dealing with synchronicity, divine intelligence, cause and effect. It's under the energy of a four, which is balance. First and foremost, what I should have done right here was, give way to the fact that the Capricorn, even though he's or she, even though this energy is assigned to Earth elementally, historically it was known as the sea goat. It was half goat, half fish. So over time, it's been placed in the earth, but it has a affinity for water. So it's a duality sign. And in that sense of duality, by this vibration on this card, it's a 10. 10 is completion. It's whole. It can live on land or in sea. So if you can do those two things, you can pretty much survive all things. Another thing about a Capricorn, and I'm a Capricorn moon, so before I even go any further, when I'm doing these readings, if I'm doing Capricorn, it applies to the Capricorn sun, the Capricorn moon, Capricorn rising. If you have Capricorn anywhere in your planetary aspects or house aspects, if it resonates for you, apply it. We are all things. All these signs are within us. They're only the guidelines for your existence, but we're bigger than them all. So take it with a grain of salt. If it resonates, go for it. If it does not, keep it moving. The good thing about Capricorn energy during the month of September is the web weaver, like I was saying. It's going to be operating from a state of balance. It's going to be a little bit more intelligent and paying more attention to the synchronicities that may be popping up. We're going to be transitioning from summer into the fall. We're under the energy of a 9, which is bringing things to an end in the sense of karmic ties and experience. Not every experience you're going through is karmically related. There is karma involved, but there's not the higher sense of, oh my God, I've done this dance with the same person 400 lifetimes or 4 lifetimes and things like that. It's like, okay, I met somebody, I see where this energy is going, and I'm either going to stop it before it becomes a karmic situation, or I'm going to go with what feels good. And next thing you know, 10 lifetimes later, you're trying to figure out what kind of web did I weave. So be aware of what you're building. There is an interconnectivity between all things. What affects me will affect you, whether it's even noticeable or not. So you have to be aware of that cause and effect. Move from a state of balance. What's going to be the heavy energy for the month of September, or in other words, the bad. And again, with the word bad is not always a negative thing. It just means that this is going to be a heavy thing that may be riding on you. It's the eyes of beauty in reverse. With the eyes of beauty, you're dealing with positive expectations and clarity. Remember, we're here trying to find how to honor cause and effect. So we need to move from balance. We need to say what we mean and be pure and clear in what we're saying, doing, thinking, the whole nine. It just needs to be upfront, no time for playing games. With this eye of beauty, it is saying, embrace the beauty, not only the beauty of yourself, but the beauty of others. Treat others how you would want to be treated, and that's going to be a big thing throughout the month. And it's going to cause you to have to rely on your self-awareness, because that 2 and that 5 is, a 7. That 2 is looking in the mirror, and this is the aspect right here where it's going to be involving yourself. Is when you look in that mirror, you should be proud of that reflection. But also in the sense of, say, relationships and family, when you look at your family, you should see a piece of you, or at least a piece of your peace, Peace. There should be a piece of your peace in those who are a part of your reflection. Your kids, your spouse, your parents, your friends, your cousins, the whole nine. If they're not what's making you feel beautiful inside, then that's what's making you feel ugly. I mean, it's just direct. So you need to be aware of the way people are making you feel, and then at the same time, you're also going to need to be aware of how you make others feel, because you're caught under the law of cause and effect during this month of September. Basically, what you're putting out there is going to be what you're going to end up eating. So the best way to honor that and to bring that divine feminine into balance is by going under the energy of the winged wise ones. And again, it's more self-awareness. It's a 3 and a 4. Communicate properly and you will achieve balance. Remember, you started out trying to figure out whether you're going to be the spider or the fly, and trying to honor cause and effect by starting out with balance. That balance is going to be dependent upon the way you're communicating, not only with others but with yourself. And that's the winged wise ones, because the energy on that card speaks towards angelic help and miraculous aid. With it being such a high vibration month with nines are karmic ties, karmic endings, or just endings in general. So if it gets heavy and you stay balanced, then there's a tendency, or I don't mean to say tendency, there's a hint within this card that there may be some assistance already in alignment for you, because, again, we're doing this dance that has already been danced. We just had to go through the motion. So if this is one of those crucial points, that high energy point, that 9 energy, where things are supposed to be coming to the end, but you feel like you're caught in a web, if you keep your eyes on the prize, if you honor the beauty of all things, then that assistance is going to be there. And you can get that aid where you thought, oh my God, I didn't know how I was going to make it out of this. And I, as a Capricorn moon, I see where this is applied even to myself. Things get rough on you and you're like, man, I'm about to go back into the old ways and let me do this and let me do that. And it's like, no, stay your course. You put in too much work to fall backwards. And the moment you make that proclamation that I'm not going to give in or give up, boom, the winged wise ones show up. And again, when we're talking about winged wise one, this is a sense of higher intelligence, higher existence, to include higher self, to include your ancestral realm, to include the angelic realm, to include the Orishas, the Loa, even daemons, whoever you want to call upon. They're all aspects of ourself. So when you say that you're willing to help yourself and the universe knows that you mean it, then the universe will send that assistance. The universe will send the assistance to make sure that you get through. So it's a thing of perseverance in the higher sense. So your cause and effect is, if you see where you're a just cause, then the universe will effectively send in the assistance to get you through it. And that's how you're going to work out your divine feminine, by honoring your intuition and listening to the signs, vibrations, and messages and all that stuff, and just trusting the process of knowing that you're worth it. And it comes down here to the divine masculine, which is your order and logic and, pretty much the things that have run the planet for a long time. Not going to harp too much on that. What the good is for the month of September for Capricorn, which is basically your traditional energy when you're dealing with Capricorn, they want those good foundational fairy tale type stuff. I want the family. I want all this other stuff. I want it nice and normal. So that order mind is going to fight for that. And what it's going to be caught up under on the good side is the Ice Queen in reverse. And just to show you the card, the Ice Queen in reverse deals with ideals, preserved, non-action, and entitlement. It's going to speak to, remember, the Capricorn's a 10. That's completion. This card is a 28. That's another 10. But the breakdown on that is, if you don't see a good reflection of yourself, if you're not seeing yourself clearly, that 8, which is abundance, becomes overwhelmed. You will become overwhelmed because you will be trying to fight to preserve ideas that may be outdated. And not only that, your non-action of thinking that if I sit still long enough, maybe the situation will fix itself. Think about with a spider that's in the web. He sits still. Maybe if I sit still long enough, then the fly will fly in and go ahead, and now I got a meal. That's a good philosophy in some cases, but other times, spiders, and if you watch nature, spiders will move their web to a prominent location where they got the best chance of feeding. A spider that's sitting in the corner is pretty much going to starve to death if nothing ever comes to that corner. So it's going to require action. So sometimes that Ice Queen energy needs to be pushed out, sitting there and just waiting for things to fix itself, because I'm a traditionalist and I just know that this is what I want, and because this is what I want, this is what I'm due and deserve. So now everybody else in the universe should conform to what I want. Traditionalism. it's not going to happen. We live in a chaos realm, so if you want something, you're going to have to kind of get out there and get it. And that sense of entitlement of, because I put in the work, I should get it. It doesn't fly off, because there's a delusion in there of thinking because you have put in the work that that's just all that needs to be done. There had to be some senses of awareness of what you were doing. Were you honoring yourself while you were putting in this work? Things like that. So there's a little bit of deception, and those deceptions are going to come right there to the forefront, and they're going to be feeling real heavy and bad, because that masculine energy is going to want to logically deduct or deduce what got it to where it's currently at, and that's going to cause a dragon's duel. So the bad part of the month of September for Capricorn will be the dragon's duel. You're going to be at an inner conflict of trying to figure out, why things have gotten to the way that they are, and kind of like I was saying earlier, if you want your prize, are you going to get it by any means necessary? Or are you going to understand that it's going to require some work and some patience and some perseverance and honoring the true nature of the law of cause and effect, which can be tied back into the law of attraction? What energy am I putting out here that I'm attracting back in? And it's going to have to be a conscious choice. You're going to have to tie that into a sense of morality and understand that you may have manipulated a lot of situations, and you may have been manipulated through a lot of situations. But if you stop and look at yourself, you might see the big picture, and that will allow you to speak clearly and get the proper assistance from not only the winged ones, but also from higher self. And if you can do that, survive that dragon's duel, the way to survive that dragon's duel is by going into the sun dancer's energy. And it's in reverse, but it's more of an offering. The sun dancers deal with joyful activity, the celebration of life, and accepting abundance. And it's a 32 again, so it's like I was saying, it's manipulation. You just left this dragon's duel where your reflection that you may not have liked put you in conflict, and now you're trying to figure out how to correct some of the ways that you've been communicating with the universe. This is saying, okay, we heard you. We heard the way you spoke. Now we're going to let you see a better reflection of yourself that is going to be based on joyful activity, a celebration of life, and we're going to start introducing you to the abundance. It's going to be up to you on whether that abundance stays abundance or whether it becomes overwhelmed, in a sense of now you're tangled in your own webs. So the way you're going to have to balance between your divine feminine and your divine masculine is going to be in the form of sacred balance. Sacred balance can be achieved by becoming the fire prince. And that's going to be, basically remaining optimistic, but at the same time optimistic, being aggressive in your growth. Remember that Ice Queen said, I'm going to sit still. I'm a Capricorn. I'm entitled to this, and therefore it shall come to me. A false sense of law of attraction. I spoke on it, so then it's going to be produced. No, faith without works. That fire prince right here is saying, be aggressive towards getting towards your balance. If you want it, you're going to have to move towards it. But at the same time, do not fool yourself into becoming too aggressive, which will lead you into morality issues, because you're going to be out here, miscommunicating and not being clear in the way that your movement's going. And that can keep you into balance or out of balance, depending on how you embrace it. So if you take that fire prince energy and you burn through those webs that don't need to be up and start being clear, because you don't need to keep casting all these webs and spells on your life anyway, which prevent you from seeing the beauty in all things. Yeah, you're a traditionalist. Yeah, you want it, and you want to have things given to you, and you want people to play fair with you so you can play fair with them, and this and that and all the other. But it's going to have to be some change in your mindset, and you're going to have to really, at the end of the day, that's going to be the big issue right there, that web weaver. What you've been doing to give yourself balance. It's a low-key manipulator card. I'm going to stick a web out there, and if you get caught in it, you get caught in it. You should have saw it coming. That type of deflective energy. And that deflective energy of, I already set my web out there, eventually I'm going to capture you, played out again right back in here of, I'm just going to sit still and not move until I get what I want. You need to burn both of them ideas, that divine feminine mindset of pretty much a little bit of coercion, and this passive aggressive energy down here in the divine masculine. They need to meet at the middle, and you need to be optimistic and aggressive towards your growth, but be mindful of all things. And that's for Capricorn. Peace and wholeness.